Hey, welcome back. iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 are two very similar phones, and the differences between these two models aren't that many. So if you're unsure whether to go for the 13 or the 14, in this video I'll show you the main differences so we can figure out which one makes more sense to choose today, both in terms of performance and features, but also to save some money without giving anything up. When it comes to looks, the two phones are practically identical. Same size, same screen, same button layout, including the volume buttons, mute switch, and power button. The charging port is the same too, the classic lightning connector, and even the cameras are positioned in exactly the same way. Both are made with the same materials, aluminum and glass on the back. So honestly, holding them feels like having the same phone. Unless you pay attention to the color, it's really hard to tell them apart. That said, the build quality is excellent on both. I actually made a dedicated video review for each of them, so if you want to dive deeper, you can check those out on my channel. As for the display, both iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 come with the same 6.1-inch OLED screen. With HDR support and a 60Hz refresh rate, they're both really great panels. High quality, sharp images, vibrant colors, and brightness that's more than enough. In fact, the maximum brightness is the same on both, 800 nits typical and up to 1200 nits in HDR. So on this front, they're basically identical. Same goes for Face ID, built into the notch, that dark area at the top of the screen. The notch is the same size, and face recognition works the same way. I find both of them really reliable and fast. They unlock the phone instantly and keep it secure. So here too, the user experience is identical. Animations are smooth and responsive, and that's also thanks to the processor inside both, the A15 Bionic. Yep, strange but true. Apple decided to use the same chip in both models. I still don't fully get why, but there is one difference: RAM. iPhone 13 has 4 GB, while iPhone 14 has 6 GB. In everyday use, though, both run beautifully. Multitasking, opening and closing apps, gaming, everything flows fast and without hiccups. I also ran a quick benchmark test, and the results were nearly identical. The iPhone 14 performs slightly better, but in daily life, you'll barely notice a difference. That's also thanks to iOS optimization. Both phones have been updated to iOS 18, with all the new features, more customization for the home screen, a redesigned control center, and improved AirDrop, which now lets you transfer files just by bringing the two iPhones close together. And most likely, updates will keep coming for both in the years ahead. It'll be interesting to see if they'll get updates at the same pace, or if the iPhone 14's 6 GB of RAM will give it a small edge down the line. The extra RAM on the iPhone 14 probably also helped Apple introduce two exclusive features that year: emergency SOS via satellite and crash detection. These are really interesting features and could be super useful in critical situations. On iPhone 13, you don't get these options. So, if safety is a priority for you and you think these features could make a difference, then the choice is pretty clear. Moving on to the cameras, again, there aren't huge differences. Both iPhones have two cameras, one ultra-wide and one wide, both 12 megapixels. Neither has optical zoom, only digital zoom up to 5x. So as you can imagine, photo quality is very similar. In my tests, I didn't notice any major differences between the shots. Maybe, if I'm being super picky, photos from the iPhone 14 looked just a tiny bit brighter, but nothing major. Same goes for video. Quality is excellent on both devices with sharp images, natural colors, and good stability even when you're moving. However, the iPhone 14 does have an edge thanks to action mode, which stabilizes video really well, especially when you're on the move. It's a very handy feature, especially if, like me, you often record handheld videos. Battery life is great on both phones with the same battery size. But after testing them with heavy use during the day, I noticed that the iPhone 14 lasts a bit longer. With the 13, I got just over 7 hours of screen on time, while with the 14, I made it to a full 8 hours. Of course, there are lots of variables to consider, like network coverage or which apps you're using, but this gives you a good idea. Both can easily get you through a full day, with the iPhone 14 offering a little extra. As for the audio, there aren't big differences here either, just some small nuances. Both deliver really nice sound. Clear, powerful, and well-balanced with good depth. That said, the iPhone 14 does seem to have slightly higher volume compared to the 13. But honestly, it's a subtle difference, so I'll leave it up to you to listen and decide for yourself. Alright, I think it's time to wrap things up. But before I tell you my final thoughts, if you found this video helpful and want to see more like it, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me, and I truly thank you for the support. So, after thoroughly testing both and going over all the differences, I can confirm that iPhone 13 and iPhone 14 are very similar phones. The quality is excellent on both, but there's no huge difference that makes one clearly better than the other. So, if you're torn between these two models and want to save a bit, my advice is to go for the iPhone 13. It's still a great choice today. But if you're looking for that little bit extra, well, you might be interested in my next video coming very soon. And that's it for now. I wish you all the best. Thanks again for your time, and see you next time.